Alrighty. We're back. Alright, everybody jumping in here. If you guys are just joining us, we're here at this amazing Mermaid Lagoon. If you can hear me, go ahead and throw some hearts up so that we know that sound is coming through. Alrighty, a couple of you. Awesome. If you guys are joining us, we are in sort of extra sunny Southern California this morning. It's a little bit on the humid side, but for California anyway. Not too bad though. Water is 82 this morning, which should be nice and comfortable for our mama. A little on the slightly warmer side than I prefer for clarity, but totally usable. In fact, I'm gonna kind of test this out a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna feel good. You guys can kind of get a little peek here at what we're gonna be working with. This is the pool that I usually use. This is a saline pool. So very comfortable and non-destructive for everything as opposed to chlorine. We've got, normally there's a waterfall-ish thing going on here. We've got that turned off today because we want the water as cool and still and calm as possible and as little stirred up as possible. Clarity is looking pretty good. We'll know a little bit more of the attitude of the water when I get in. Water's kind of like its own animal every time. So something new every time we get in the water. I'm gonna let you guys take a peek at what's going on over here. Under one of our gazebos. Okay, so we've got the spread, y'all. That's the spread. Got a lot working. This is Alex. She's kind of makeup stylist extraordinaire. Desiree says hi.
Hi. We miss you. Wish you were here.
And this is our awesome mama model today. This is Raylan.
Hi.
So I will tell you a couple of things of what I know, but this is really Alex's magic that's going on here. Desiree says miss you too. If you guys, hi Florida. If you guys have any questions about what you're watching, just throw them up in the chat room so that we can answer them. We want to give you guys as much information as we can while we're here. I will tell you that most of what Alex is going to be using is not necessarily a super special product in and of itself, because she has magic that she puts on top of makeup later that makes it stay. We've got somebody asking, how do you keep the makeup fresh in the water? You want to answer that one, Alex?
I use
somebody loves your shirt,
spray.
by the way.
Oh, thank you. I have a secret spray that I get at a makeup specialty store, but you can try using Urban Decay's makeup setting spray all-nighter. That tends to work really well as like a first layer for me before I put on my shellacking spray.
There's a lot of layers, people.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers that goes into this. The shellacking spray, if you'd like to know what that is, any makeup specialty store will sell it. You can try Nigel's Beauty Emporium, Friends, and Mimi's. Those are some of the bigger names that I know. They're all located within West Hollywood, downtown Los Angeles area. So if you're not from LA or California, absolutely, they have websites. You can go on and check that out. But yeah, you just want to make sure before you do anything underwater that you have a really clean face. The face is washed, moisturized, prepped with a primer so that everything can get started and look beautiful.
And then the shellac.
And the shellac
to make it stay.
Yeah.
Alex is the only person I've ever worked with who can actually make lashes stay on under the water too.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some magic involved with that, and she's highly talented.
I'll show that.
Yeah. So she's just putting on a base right now. If a lot of times people have problems with foundation looking sort of whitish under the water, we don't tend to have that problem.
You don't want to get any kind of foundation that's going to have a high SPF or any kind of SPF, because SPF usually tends to reflect the light when the camera comes into it, which tends to make the face and body look ghostly white while the rest of you is a normal tan color. So if you can, try to stay away from using any kind of foundations with an SPF in it, especially for underwater or night taking pictures.
Yeah, anytime you're going to have light reflection issues.
Yeah. So that's tip number 550,000,001.
We've got somebody who says they're a professional theater actress, so the setting spray is a very attractive idea to them.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
how would you recommend finding a makeup artist to do underwater makeup? One of the reasons why Alex is so good at this is because she also has a background in effects makeup. I would say that's usually a good place to start, but finding somebody who's going to be as willing to dive into this world as you are, no pun intended on that one, will help. Alex, where did you learn a lot of your stuff?
School. I went to Mud Makeup Designery in 2008, which is a makeup school. They have three schools, one out here in LA in Burbank, one in New York, and one I believe they just opened in London. The Mud Makeup Designery that I attended is more geared towards the entertainment industries, which is more character and special effects makeup, which is what I majored in. And I did the whole entertainment industry circuit for a couple years and decided it wasn't for me, so I kind of switched gears and forged my own path of what I wanted to do as far as makeup goes. But if you're looking to do kind of more ethereal fantasy type of makeup, this is definitely kind of the direction you would want to go into. So I would say start looking up YouTube makeup tutorials on just basic makeup alone, like Beauty 101, because that's really your foundation of where you're going to learn to start with all of your makeup and all of the makeup application on top of, you know, the crazy character effects and special effects that you're going to add to the makeup later on if you're doing an underwater shoot or any other type of shoot for that matter. So,
yeah,
that's it.
Lots of good info. I saw somebody ask a question about how I got into underwater photography. I'm just gonna keep the camera over here on so you guys can watch what Alex is doing. I kind of got into it sort of sideways. I had a client that I had already done their engagement session and their wedding, and they wanted to take me with them to Kauai for me, to have to go over there with them for their Trash the Dress / anniversary shoot. And they really wanted to do some cliff jumping into the ocean, which meant that I was going to have to be in the water, and that meant that my camera was going to have to be in the water. So I figured I better learn how to do that safely and not have my entire livelihood sink to the bottom of the ocean. So I started finding other people that did this, and I paid for some lessons, which helped tremendously. I didn't know if I was going to only do it that one time, or if it was going to be something I did for fun on my own. Always kind of been a water person. Like, I'm a secret mermaid, pretty sure. Was obsessed with The Little Mermaid when I was a kid. Always was like the chick in the pool till all hours.
Yes.
Like prune girl getting out of the water. That was always me. So it seemed like a natural combination. Did the shoot in Kauai, which was awesome. Went ahead and did a specialty underwater maternity session, the very first one that I did actually, for my former studio manager who had a very special circumstance. So we did something special for her. Loved it. Found some more people to take lessons from. Spent about a year really upping the education department and the safety department of how to do this well and how to do it without risking anybody. So spent a year prepping and then eventually opened it up to clients. Most of the people I work with are not going to be professional or even trained models. Most of the people that we work with are going to just be people who think this looks awesome and they want to try it. So that was part of what I spent a lot of my time learning, was how to work with somebody who's never done this before, and get them comfortable pretty quickly. You're going to see later I'm going to be talking Raylan through some of the breathing techniques, some of the tips, etc., that are going to be necessary for us to get some of the better images out of today, and all of that. I saw somebody asking, how did I learn about underwater safety? The best places I went for that was actually to talk to people who do scuba diving and scuba certification, because underwater safety is like numbers like 1 through 5 of what they teach in all kinds of scuba training. I'm in process of getting my own scuba training, though you'll see today I do not use I'm not on a tank. I'm not going to do scuba in the pool. I've done it before, but I'm not going to be using that today, and I don't usually use that in a pool. It's not necessary in a pool. Nobody's under the water for that long. If you're doing ocean underwater photography, you do need to be on scuba. And you probably should only be having free divers model for you, because the safety factor is so huge when you're in the ocean and there's tides and riptides and waves, and you're talking about a lot deeper, different temperature of water. It's going to be a lot colder, especially for us over here on the west coast. The water is quite cold. There's not a whole lot of places over here really to do underwater in the ocean and have it look well. The best place nearby to us is going to be Catalina. The water clarity there is amazing, but most of the ocean options we have, you know, besides it's pretty beaches and all, but the water is pretty murky anywhere along the California coast. So it's few and far between to have that option, which is part of why we're going to be in a pool. There's also just a lot less complicating factors in a pool. There's no waves for one, that helps. We're going to be keeping Raylan primarily where she can just stand up and get air. There's some extra concerns because of Le Baby, to make sure that she's not holding her breath for too long, make sure that she always has air, make sure that she is always comfortable, etc. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of that going on. Scuba and scuba instructors are definitely the best place to talk to people about underwater safety. That's what they do. I have been fortunate enough to work with a couple of them, including an underwater videographer who's also a scuba instructor. So I learned a lot from him. But yeah, we're not going to be scuba today.
Networking and connections and learning your craft well.
Always good. You can see I've got my gear kind of sitting out. We're going to be unpacking and unloading all of that in a minute. I'm going to be getting my phone into an underwater case so that we can keep broadcasting and show you the actual shooting and what I see when I'm underwater. We're also, I'm going to have to put my camera in the housing and do a water test just to make sure everything's sealed up good. So there's a lot of kind of prep work. I've brought a backdrop that we're going to be dropping into the water in a little bit. In a little bit I'll usually get into the wetsuit and I'll get into the water and kind of get a feel for how she is today. The water is, she's got like her own personality. So it's different every time we get in. Mornings are different than afternoons. Afternoons are different than nights. So getting a feel for what we're going to be working with today and what it's all going to feel like is kind of a big part of it. So I'm going to be letting you guys keep an eye on what's going on over here. The look we're going for with Raylan today is not going to be too crazy ethereal. At least not to start. We may get there, but we're going to see how the shooting goes. So we're keeping everything a little bit more beauty and simple. How do I find a pool? Well, this is, as much as I would love to claim this for my own home, this is not my pool. I rent this pool. It's an incredibly amazing setup. I'm in process of having a tank installed in my own home, in my backyard, so that I can shoot from home. This particular group, this person that owns this home, we just happened to have connections, found out they had a pool, found out that they had a saline pool, and then the begging and pleading starts. So I have a couple of pools around the Southland that I can use. I've got one that's kind of up towards the Bay Area for when I shoot up there. That's a saline pool. I've got another saline pool down in Encino that I have access to. And there's a handful of chlorine pools that I've got access to, but that's going to be my last choice of a pool to use, is chlorine. If I had access to really clear freshwater, that would be my first choice, but this is California. All freshwater sources have dried up, so we don't have any. So pools it is. So saline is going to be my next choice. If anybody else has any questions, throw them up in the chat. I'm going to be letting Sandra take over some of the filming, and she can shout questions over me. I'm going to be starting to get my gear into the housings and all of that stuff, so we'll let you watch some of that if you'd like. But Alex is going to keep working her magic. And a little bit, they want to know how you're feeling, Raylan. How you feeling today? She's feeling good. I'll tell you what, when I work with women who are pregnant in the water, this actually tends to be a very mean, it's a therapeutic experience, I think, for anybody who comes in to do underwater, because water changes your perspective, and I feel like it's very altering to people in general. It's incredible. But for pregnant mamas especially because how many weeks are you now, Raylan? 34 weeks.
I have to keep a straight face.
Raylan's 34 weeks. This is her third child, by the way. So that's part of the reason why I think she's so calm about this. First time moms are usually have a little bit more questions and whatnot, and Raylan's just pretty chill. But 34 weeks is about the end of when I like to do maternity sessions in general. It's a great time for underwater maternity though, because when pregnant mamas get in the water, this is extremely pain relieving, I guess, like on your back, to be in a much lower gravity situation. It helps quite a bit, so a lot of my pregnant mamas really like this, and I think that it will be nice for you too, Brianna. Lots of love coming in, guys.
Yay!
Where is everybody from who's watching? I want to know where you're from.
Yeah, let's hear.
We had somebody from the Cayman Islands last night, so I want to know where everybody's from.
Anybody local?
Yeah, have we got any Californians in there?
Yeah, any locals, natives, California. Woo!
Woohoo! Chicago, Phoenix,
Yay!
Ohio, Moore Park. That's pretty close by.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
The Valley. What?
Woo. Hey, Palmdale. Anybody from Palmdale? No?
Whittier, upstate New York, pretty much Canada.
I'll do with Victorville. Victorville is okay. Little Rock? All right.
Fort Worth, Texas, Florida.
Whoa.
Yeah, we got people from all over. Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, guys.
This is exciting.
Special.
All right, I'm gonna have Sandra take over. She's gonna Anaheim. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah, we're Disney people over here.
Yeah,
we got a lot
yes,
of Disney
we
going
are.
on.
My dad
I was there
actually,
yesterday.
my father was an ex-animator for Disney for 10 years. He worked in feature
New York.
animation. So
Hi, Elizabeth.
I am forever a Disney kid.
My husband works for the company.
Yeah, we got some Disney
my
eyes in
fiance
here.
does too.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody here has got somebody who works
I
for
posted
Disney
on
right now.
Facebook that I'm Princess Melody today.
Oh, real quick, can you guys shout out your Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah.
Facebook stuff?
Makeup artist Alex Flores. Instagram me at Elegant by Alex. You will see all of my underwater photos with Bree and some more shoots that I just did recently, and hopefully some sneak peeks of the shoot tonight.
Awesome. What about you, Raylan? Raylan's also a photographer, you guys. So
Yeah, I'm not a pro model. If you like my photography, it's Raylan Elizabeth Photography.
what's the website and what's you don't have Instagram yet, right? Or you do, or
I
don't?
just don't use it.
Okay.
It's
You've got
Raylan
Facebook.
_ Elizabeth _ photography. Facebook, Raylan Elizabeth Photography. Website, RaylanElizabeth.com.
Okay.
Facebook,
Awesome.
you can find me on Facebook, Elegant by Alex. Pretty simple. You'll see my blue hair with a flower in it and a milk bath. So
Yep.
keep that in mind.
Pretty awesome.
That Bree, our wonderful Bree shot, which I'm.
That was an awesome session. You can find my stuff pretty much the same as always. BrianMichelle.com, Brian Michelle on Instagram, Brian Michelle on Twitter, Brian Michelle Photography on Facebook, etc., etc. Most of my maternity stuff is actually under my other business, which is High Peanut. So you can also go to highpeanut.com or High Peanut Photography on Facebook. High Peanut Magazine is the Instagram. So, yep, that's all the info. I'm going to have Sandra take over some filming for what's going on with makeup, and I'm going to start getting set up with my gear, which will show a little bit of that too. All right. So hi to Sandra, everybody.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Woo, lots of hearts.
Yay. Now we're just filling in the brows a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They
So
were
that
tattooed
helps.
7 years ago.
Oh, you can tell.
I know, right?
This just helps to kind of shape the face.
I have no eyebrows.
eyes the bench today, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because the eyebrows help frame the face, and when you're underwater, the water and the lens cut out like become more than half of what the makeup actually looks like. So initially when people first see themselves, they're kind of like, whoa, this is a lot of makeup. But when you get the pictures back, you understand and see that it's not whoa, it's just, it's filtered a lot through all of the water and the lenses. So everything has a rhyme and a reason for it. There's a reason, secret to my madness.
Water acts like its own.
Yeah.
Welcome to the shoot, Abby Grime.
Hey guys, don't forget when we go underwater later, we have to flip the phone upside down. If we don't, we lose feeds. So just turn your phones over and you'll be able to watch it just fine. If you see people commenting on it in the feed when we're doing the shoot later, like, hey, the phone's upside down, turn your phone over. We have to do that, otherwise we lose the feed sticking the phone under the water. So keep that in mind. Right now we're right side up. Later we will be upside down. It's a topsy-turvy world.
I have eyebrows now.
Yeah.
There we go. Beautiful eyebrows.
I love this stuff. This is by Laura Geller Beauty. This is a baked gelato vivid swirl blush in the color Rose Water, which is perfect. We're going to be in the water. And I just love the way that it goes on so kind of light and airy and just very, gives you just this little bit of a hint of the color. Kind of warms up that apple of the cheek a little bit. Dust off a little bit of a fallout. Again, just kind of lightly dusting the rose cheeks. So for the lips, since her lips kind of already have a little bit of the foundation on it, I'm going to leave that on as a base because that'll help adhere the lipstick and the lip color to the lips so that it won't wash off suddenly under the water, which is another trick. So let's go with a nice pinky neutral color. Well, first, actually, this is a really great lip lining pencil from Urban Decay. It is their 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil and it comes in clear. So if you don't want to use like a pink or a nude color to lip your lines and you just want to throw on a chapstick or a lip stain, this is really perfect for that. But again, any lip liner will do to help to keep the lipstick from feathering, which is good.
Can they hear okay?
Can you guys all hear okay?
Yeah. Am I not talking loud? Okay.
You dropped one beneath you. I forget.
Set up hearts if you can hear. Oh, what lip liner was that?
This one?
Yeah,
Or the clear one?
the clear one.
The clear one, this is 24-hour Urban Decay Glide On Lip Pencil. And it is in Ozone.
Oh,
That
sorry.
is the color.
Got it. Yep, everyone can hear. They're good.
Perfect. Yay.
Lots of hearts. Lots of yips. We were just joined by Shenanigans. Welcome. Brienne's getting all of her underwater gear on and ready. Sorta. It is very humid today. Yes. Yep.
Sure. Chicago people and our Midwesters are like, ha ha.
Yeah.
It's probably like, what, 30% humidity?
Yeah, we're used to like 5% humidity though.
This feels gross to us.
I'm in Florida, no pity. From Sarcastic Style.
Yeah, that's Desiree.
Yeah, from Desiree.
Love you, Desiree. Miss you. Where are my keys?
There's a couple of tiny bugs that keep flying around.
Just a few little ones.
California bugs.
Love you from Desiree.
Yay!
So fun looking good, Raylan.
Oh, thank you. I have no idea what I look like.
That's from Houses 5.
This is a nice, cool pink color by NARS. This is in. It's a really awesome lip pencil. I wish it would tell me the name of it, but it doesn't tell me the name of it. It just says Satin Lip Pencil by NARS. There you go.
That's enough. We'll show the underwater housing for the camera real soon.
Okay.
Question, can we see the underwater camera?
Yes.
Yes.
Chicken water, guys.
You look like a beautiful vessel of life.
Okay, guys, so
Okay, going over here.
for the people who weren't able to tune in last night for the gear that we're using, I have a hodgepodge of gear in here. I shoot on Sony bodies as my backup. This is the one that I'm going to be shooting on today. It's the A7. This is a full-frame mirrorless camera. I have Sigma and Nikon and Sony lenses all in here because Sony can take all of them. The one that I'm going to be using today is a Sony 16-50 2.8. I'm actually probably going to lock it in place, but I'm going to be shooting almost exclusively at 16 millimeters today. That's because you need to be close to your subject for there to be good clarity. The further you get, the more the water starts to sort of fuzz the edges. The water is like its own lens, so you kind of have to keep that in mind. I prefer to shoot on this one, especially underwater, because of the OLED sensor that's inside. Despite the fact, these cameras are amazing anyway, but one of the best things about what Sony does is that you see in real time before you shoot what your image is going to look like. So when I'm adjusting my shutter speed, when I'm adjusting my aperture, when I'm adjusting my ISO or my white balance or anything, I'm going to see in the screen, either the one on the back or through the viewfinder, I'm going to see what that's going to do to the image before I take the picture. And especially that, plus the automatic live view on the back screen, that's huge for underwater. I used to shoot underwater on my Nikon stuff and it was fine, but this is just so much easier. It's like coming out of the Stone Age. So I prefer it. This is the housing I'm going to be putting it in. This is a water bag housing. You'll see in a minute when I put the camera in, I'll do a test to make sure that we're fully sealed up here. There's a little bit of a trick to getting them in. This is one that's made by Decapac. I'm fine with them. And it's definitely a little bit more affordable way to get into this. But I actually prefer Iwa Marine's bag. I personally prefer water bags over hard shell casing any day of the week, and that's because for two reasons. Hard shell case is going to be very, very, very specific to your camera and your lens, so you really only have one setup, and you're going to pay a lot of money for that one setup. So it's kind of a little bit limiting, and I like to be able to switch things out if I want to. The other factor there is that if a hard shell case springs a leak because of the pressurization and everything else, if it springs a leak, it will flood instantly inside that thing, and your equipment's just toast at that point. With a water bag, if you spring a leak, it's going to be a real slow leak, and you've got a chance to catch it, find it, save your gear. So I just prefer these. You can do it either way. We're not going to be using a lot of underwater lighting today because we're in bright, full sun. I did bring reflectors and a diffuser so that we can use that if we want it, but we don't need actual lighting today. I do have options for that, but we're not going to need it. So I won't be pulling it out. Otherwise, I'd be pulling out underwater flashlights and ring light and my triggers so that I could use speed lights if I wanted to, all of that stuff. We're just not going to be needing it today. If you guys want to find these online, there's a couple of different options. Like I said, I prefer Iwa Marine to this particular one, but this one is going to be okay too. I'm used to using it, so it'll be comfortable enough. And it's a lot of the images I've already created. That's what I've used in the last couple of years. So It'll work out. I'm gonna see how the water feels. It looks like we actually have got really great clarity today, which is good. Being in an open outdoor pool, sometimes there's factors like pollen or leaves. So if it's been windy the day before getting to the pool, a lot of times we find that we have a lot to deal with in the water. Water temperature today is 82 degrees. That's good for the model. Okay for clarity. The colder the water, the clearer it is. But also the colder the water, the harder the time the model has staying underwater because chest freezes up and it's hard to breathe and all of that. And I'm the only one in a wetsuit, so it's not nice to them. So we should be pretty good today. We're gonna go ahead and get it all tested out and ready to go while she finishes that makeup, and looks like she's putting on lashes now, which is
Let's go check that
a
out.
magical element. Lashes are the best.
Alright, so these bad boys I found in a specialty makeup shop. They don't sell them just anywhere. This is ADD Lash waterproof lash glue. This has been the only waterproof lash glue that I have found that's been able to stay throughout an entire underwater shoot. The glue that they sell over the counter at places like Ulta or Sephora or even Sally's Beauty Supply is not up to par. You're gonna have to go to makeup specialty shop. Again, I suggest places like Nigel's Beauty Emporium, Mamie's, or Friends. Those are all makeup shops here within Southern California. But I know that they do have websites as well, so go ahead and try Googling some of those and see if you can find anything that you like. Okay, so I'm going to have you close. And lift your chin up a little bit. And the secret to putting on lashes is you want to get it as close to the actual natural lash line as possible. And even though the glue looks white right now, it will dry clear. And even if you can still kind of see a little bit of a clear glob or a white glob, you can just go right over that with eyeliner. Liquid eyeliner, cake eyeliner, gel eyeliner, whatever eyeliner you prefer. Okay, open. I know it's going to feel funny. Stop. Sorry. There. How's that?
Yeah.
Sometimes lashes get stuck and you just kind of have to pull them a little bit. It's not a big deal. But look at how perfect those look on her. Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Still have no idea what I look like.
Stunning.
Alright, on to the second one. And I'm just going to measure them up to her eye once again to see if they're up to par. If not, then I usually just cut a little strip of the corner off so that they kind of line up perfectly with the person's natural eye.
You look amazing, gorgeous. So much love.
Alright, so...
Straight.
Do they have any questions?
Do you have any questions?
Anybody
Ms.
have any
Alex?
questions for me?
Anybody?
Makeup-wise? Nope. Alright. That makes my job easy.
I have my dress in here too. Okay, well, if you want it for it, but that was the list.
You've got good
I'll get it
clarity,
done with you.
people. We're
I
very
brought my stuff,
excited.
so I can help out.
Awesome. We'll probably have somebody filming, somebody fluffing fabric,
I'll be the fluffer.
etc.
Either way.
If you need the reflectors, close it a few years.
Awesome. Almost done. Just getting the lashes on. She'll be done. Do you want to have her in just her hair down first, or do you want to put her in?
Let's do hair down first.
Okay.
And then I'll, since I'm going to
walk her through for the fight. And just now it's working.
Alright, so give me time to change.
I have to go to the bathroom again.
You go to the bathroom, go ahead.
No, we need to.
Again, perfectly understandable.
If nobody has any other questions about makeup or about what we're putting on her, then we can probably go ahead and take a quick break and we'll get everything set and ready to go and come back.
Alrighty. Did anyone have any last questions for Alex and makeup and all that stuff?
Go see it. Wait till we get in the water. You're gonna love it.
We're gonna take a short break so we can set up everything in the water and
We'll be back.
let our beautiful mama model do what she needs to do. So we'll be back.